Hello, my name is Dean Contover. This is the Current Buzz. Thank you for watching today. I just want to say this is a new series that we have, new season. This is the second show we're doing. This is the 284th show that we have. So keep on watching. We appreciate it. And if you have any people that you might want us to put on the show that you have an idea, give us a call and we'll debate it and we'll decide whether we should put them on. Today we have Peter Lally. He's the general manager of the Lowell Auditorium. And we have Cassidy Blouin from a marketing coordinator. Thank you for coming. We appreciate it. Peter is general manager from Lowell Auditorium. Things are happening now after COVID, right? Mm-hmm. Is that correct?
That's correct.
2020 was not
our best year, Dean.
Not your best year. Yeah. So we're going to talk about Lowell Auditorium. Lowell Auditorium is a city-owned auditorium. City of Lowell owns it. If you're new to Chelmsford, check it out. We have a website, right? And Cassidy does the work on it, right? And the website will tell you what groups are coming. I have a sheet of paper because I don't have it all in my mind. We'll talk about those groups that are coming. You have quite a few people coming. I mean,
yeah. We got a decent fall lined up, thankfully.
And we had an article in the Lowell Sun dated Tuesday, September 14th, Lowell Auditorium, and it's a nice little article in the paper. Give you a little PR if you want. You can look it up, lowellsun.com. And so Lowell's a city-owned facility that you use, and you have a management company, Lowell Management Group, that's made up of a group of people, right? Is that correct?
That's correct, yep.
And you're the manager of Lowell Auditorium for getting groups to go in to Lowell Auditorium in the evenings usually.
Right. So we manage the building and that's one of the things we do is book the performers that come in. We also take care of the building and rent it for other events and all kinds of things. So we're kind of the main folks that are responsible for it 365 days a year, and we try to keep it as busy as we can.
Good, that's good. I looked at the list of people that are coming in. I'm really impressed. We'll talk about that a little later. So how did you get these people? Did they call you or did you call them? Or were they hungry for doing live shows? I mean, how would that?
Yeah, we just have ongoing conversations and relationships with the representatives, the agents that represent the touring acts, and it's a lot of kind of back and forth conversations. We call them, they call us. We go back and forth about just kind of getting informed about what an agency's roster of artists, what their plans are, when they might be touring the Northeast. And a lot of times it comes down to just the history we've had with a particular artist. Maybe they had a show with us 2 years ago and it went really well and they want to come back.
That's how it's done.
Yeah, it's a lot of just the relationships of with the artists and the agencies that represent them and that plan their tours, and kind of that back and forth communication and kind of fitting those pieces together of do we have the right date? Do we have the right size venue? What is their history with us or in the area, and kind of working.
What is the capacity of Lowell Auditorium?
It's at most it's about 2,800.
2,800.
And there's a few different ways. It's such a great building because it can be set up so many different ways. So it can really flex between around 2,000 and 2,800 depending on how we configure it.
You have the Golden Gloves coming?
We do, yep. That's coming back for the 75th anniversary.
75th?
Yeah, that'll be the 75th, and
Wow.
it'll be starting the second Thursday, I think, in January, and go 9 straight Thursdays until the first Thursday in March. So we can't wait to get back to that too.
Cassidy, you're new to this, right? Let me ask you this question. Have you ever seen the Golden Gloves?
I have not, but I am excited.
She hasn't been to fight night yet.
I've heard so much good things about it, though.
Yeah, it is a good take. I think more people, I think you should do more advertising, or that's what your specialty is,
That
right?
is, yes.
Yeah. In regards to reaching out to venues and radio stations for them to to come to watch the Golden Gloves. And I think it should be done early so people could plan for that.
Right.
You know, that's a suggestion.
Yeah, no, having it every Thursday is kind of keeps.
Is that guy, what the heck is his name? He's from Maine.
Bob Russo.
Bob Russo. Is he still involved?
Sure is.
I
Yeah,
have to get him on the show.
yeah
me put
he'd be great to have on.
Yeah, I had him a few years ago, but I'll put a call on him and so forth, or maybe you could talk to him.
Sure, I'd be happy to.
And yeah, I have to get him in early because when do you start with Golden Gloves?
Early January.
Early January. Okay, so I have to get him in, October, November, so we can get that going. So, what is your job, Cassidy? What are you assigned to do?
So I focus on all of the social media for all the different venues that we manage. And with that, it's promoting all the different shows, just the venues itself, anything along those lines, just to keep all of the consumers excited and knowing what's coming to all of our different venues. And then I also work with PR, so the press stuff. So I will be reaching out to different press around the areas, letting them know what's coming, trying to set up different interviews, things along those lines.
What about local radio? Are you familiar with local radio?
I'm getting familiar.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
We have a station called WCAP, which is local radio, and maybe you could slip them a
Oh, yep,
couple of tickets
they're
and
always
everything.
good to us and
Yeah.
helping us get the word out.
Yeah,
Sure.
good. Yeah, spectacle management. What is that?
So spectacle management, I worked for Mill City Management, which was managed Lowell Auditorium for a number of years.
Okay, I remember
and-
Mill City.
Yeah, and then
nice guys.
Yep, and when I left there in 2013, I started spectacle management, which still does and did at the time, worked with Cary Hall in Lexington, Plymouth Memorial Hall, and a number of other venues.
Would you say Cary?
Cary Hall, Cary Hall.
Okay,
Yep,
well,
and that's right in downtown.
What's the capacity of that?
About 850.
Oh, well, that's not bad.
Yeah.
So
it's-
local.
it serves a different set of touring artists. It's about a third the size, capacity-wise, of Lowell Auditorium. So,
Okay.
it has a chance to, gives us a chance to work with some.
How are you doing with that? I mean, are you getting people?
Yeah, we're starting to
groups?
get, basically the status of the venues, not just the ones that we work with, but, the industry as a whole is like kind of coming out. The summer was decent, especially for the outdoor venues.
Right.
Lowell Summer Music Series had a good season, and
Well, they did.
a
Did
couple
they
of
have
more
did they
shows
have-
coming
okay.
up. Now as we get into the fall, we've got a lot of performances that were originally scheduled for 2020 that got postponed that are now on the calendar, and we're hoping to do them and do them safely and kind of get things, take that next step forward. So it's not to full speed. We don't quite know when that'll be, but at this point, the important thing to us is to be able to take steps forward, and that's what this fall looks like we're going to be able to do.
Right. We have Pete Lally, General Manager of Lowell Auditorium, in case you're tuning in, and we have Cassidy Blouin. Cassidy, do you take care of also that venue in Lexington?
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yep.
Okay. So if someone wants to contact Lowell, they contact you, they should, or can they contact Pete, or both of you? How's that set up?
There's about a few different avenues that they would go depending on what they're looking for.
Okay.
So if it was an artist coming in, they would not contact me. But if it was someone looking to do an interview with an artist, then they would reach out to me.
Oh, I see. Okay, all right. So when an artist comes to Lowell, right, what happens? How is that set up? When you bring them into Lowell, they come by bus or what, their
Yeah, it
personal
depends,
bus?
what their, how big the touring party is. And,
Okay. How big are some of these touring parties?
anywhere from just a handful of people to, we do Broadway shows and it's
Oh,
a
that's
couple of
right.
busfuls of people. So it really depends. Most of the time it's usually one or two buses and, a tractor trailer full of all kinds of stuff to make the show happen. So, but it really runs the gamut. Sometimes it's, a couple of people in a minivan and or a comedian
Well-
just, takes an Uber from the airport and does a show. It's pretty easy, but it really varies quite well.
So Jay Leno was coming, so he's going to take
he'll
Uber
just-
from the.
Well, he might. I don't know.
Or-
He's a car guy. I imagine
or-
he's going to want to.
Yeah.
He might have something a
limo.
little fancier. So,
Yeah, I mean, he might go to.
or his mom might drive him. I think he's got family in the area.
Yeah,
still, so.
he lives. He went to Andover High School.
Yeah, yep.
So,
He's one of the easier in terms of touring personnel and touring party, and like I said, kind of on the high end of that are some of the Broadway shows or some of the children's theatrical things.
I remember seeing him in Boston when I was living in Boston.
Yep.
And, I'll tell you after the show what he asked me. You know how they ask. What do you do? And
Right.
then they flip on it or whatever. They,
Yep.
make mockery of it or something like
Right.
that. But I won't. And they'll probably remember that too. It's funny about these comedians; they remember these things.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's good. Are you going to have Hamilton there?
Maybe someday.
Oh, maybe someday.
The way Broadway usually works is a show like that does so much business. Lowell Auditorium doesn't have the stage space that the Wang Center does.
I see.
And a show like that might come in 15 or 20 tractor trailers full of stuff.
Wow.
It'll stay for a few months at the Opera House or the Wang Center.
Right.
When the Broadway comes to us, it's usually for a couple of shows, which means that the talent is A+, just like the touring Broadways, but usually the amount of sets and bells and whistles, they don't have 2 weeks to set it up.
Right.
So, and what happens with those shows is that like a Hamilton will continue to do those bigger sit down for a month or two runs, and eventually we'll go into some of the
They do tour the Hamilton because.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
When I was in Texas, they told me they.
absolutely they're out there touring quite a bit.
Yeah.
So eventually it might come our way. I'd love to see it.
I've
moment I'm sure
I've
it's
seen
going to
it.
stay in downtown Boston for the moment. but-
I've seen Hamilton.
Yeah,
It's
yep.
well worth it, believe me.
Absolutely.
Also, the most important thing in regards to the Lowell Auditorium is the parking. Where do people park? If I'm coming from Chelmsford, where do I park when I go to the Lowell Auditorium?
Lower Locks Garage.
Lowell Lock Garage.
Go there. Don't set your GPS for our address. Go to the Lower Locks Garage and walk 2 minutes across the street, and you'll be at our front door.
All right.
So
is there a charge there at Lowell Locks?
Yeah, it's a few dollars, but
Yeah, it's well worth it.
yeah.
Well, yeah, Lowell Locks is a little bridge over the canal.
Right.
You walk
Yeah,
over the
exactly.
canal, and you can walk in there. It's a piece of
Yeah,
cake.
exactly.
And a lot of people who go to see the Golden Gloves, they park there
Yep.
and walk. They know.
Easy in, it's easy out, and like I said,
Yeah.
you're that nice bridge across the river, and you're right at our
Yeah.
front door.
No, that's really important.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I want to know is, can you buy tickets at the door of the event that evening, or can you buy prior tickets? In other words, go to the auditorium and
Sure.
I want to.
Yep, all of the above. So our box office is open for in-person sales from 10 to 4.
Oh, that's
Monday
good to
Friday.
know.
And you can go to lowellauditorium.com and buy tickets. You can buy tickets at the door the night of. So any way you'd like to get them, we'll make sure it happens.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. No, because usually what happens is if you go to the door, there's no cover charges that you have to,
Right,
you have
yeah.
to
So
make.
you just,
So it's pertinent that people who live in Greater Lowell go to the.
yep. And we do have a couple parking spaces right at our box office, so you don't have to park across the street and so forth to do that. You can park
you
right
do-
at the doorstep.
And you do have handicap parking
Yep.
in the front. So if anybody wants to know, and they have to have a legal handicap situation, but there is parking there. So now I wanted to ask Cassidy, are you there every day? Is that your job?
Yeah, so I'm there Monday through Friday.
Okay.
And then whenever we have events, I will work a couple events a month, but try to get there more often than that if possible, just to make sure I'm getting all the content I can for social media.
Right. In other words, are you taking video of the show and also pieces? I know you can't do the whole show because it's copyrighted, etc. Do you take little shots of the show and then put them on?
Yep, so we'll take
okay.
some shots of either video or pictures. We do get permission ahead of time.
Okay. Yeah, you have to get
because
permission,
it's
yeah.
obviously, got to go the right routes for it.
Right.
But yeah, we try to do that just to, especially after shows, it really shows what people missed out on. So it really
point.
kind of makes someone more excited about what's coming next because they're like, I don't want to miss out on another show like I missed out on this one.
Right. The prices are
Yeah, they range.
decent?
You know, there's a kind of a usually for every show there's quite a range of price levels. If you are a huge fan of an artist and you want to sit in the first couple of rows, then you know that's available, and there's usually a premium for that. But if you
I like to
want to
sit
be
in
in
the
the room,
balcony.
yeah, the balcony's great.
Yeah, the balcony
that's
is
one of
not
the
bad.
the best areas. So you know, usually those are there's usually 4 or 5 different price tickets for each show, and kind of gives a range for people to decide what works for them.
I went to a show with my daughter, and I'm trying to remember the artist, female artist, young. I think she was 21 at the time, and I can't remember her name because, you know, she wanted to go with her friends, and the place was packed. I mean, it was elbow to elbow. I mean, when that place is elbow to elbow, I mean, it's hot, and,
Yeah.
and people are perspiring. I'll remember it after the show. So tell me the funniest things that you've seen in your life, you know, at Lowell Auditorium, or something happened that you had a smile on your face.
There's been a lot of great shows over the years.
Yeah.
There. You know, sometimes the things that end up being the funniest are when they first happen, kind of aren't so funny. But you know, there have been some technical glitches along the way that didn't end up interrupting the show, but ended up being kind of something we laugh about later. People never knew what happened, but you know, we had I remember we had an audio board catch on fire like 5 minutes before B.B. King was supposed to take the stage.
I love
and,
B.B. King.
Yeah, and it didn't really catch on fire. I mean,
Yeah.
it did a little spark. And
Smoke.
it didn't work anymore. But so, you know, the scrambling around backstage that at the moment is petrifying becomes kind of funny later on.
Yeah.
You know, and I think a lot of the times just the best part of it, you know, artists that we work with over and over again, that they, you know, they come to love the venue. You get to see them every year. It's you know, become
B.B. King was like
them.
that.
Yeah,
He
so
loved that
BB
venue.
Yeah, he came every year for years and years, and he was
Right.
great. You know, his few of his sons were on the road as his tour managers, and always came, and such a great band. And Sherman, who was his main production manager, was always the, you know, he became a friend over the years of him playing there. So, you know, artists like that, and just getting the chance to build those, you know, year-over-year relationships where we get the chance to work together, and they love the venue, and we love having him. So those are the good ones.
The other thing I want to ask you is what happens, we're in New England and it snows. What happens when you have a group at your venue and it snows that day? Is it,
That used to be the worst case scenario.
yeah,
Used to be.
used to be.
Little did we know.
Yeah.
So you know, we keep a close eye on the weather.
Yeah,
and,
of course.
As it gets closer, usually, first of all, very rarely in the 20 years plus years that I've been, you know, associated with the auditorium, have we had a snow cancellation of a show. If there's a state of emergency, if the governor says, "Hey, it's a state of emergency, stay off the roads," we try to reschedule it. You know, but we've been pretty lucky over the years that there might be some
Of late.
snow, but right, exactly. That, you know, if there's some snow, it's February in New England. It's just kind of like, okay, well, you know, if the roads are reasonable, we'll go ahead with the show. It's very hard to reschedule things and make it happen. But you know, artists are pretty reasonable, and they want everything to be safe too. And so there have been those occasions where we've just had to move the show and make the best of whatever we had to do.
It doesn't matter what the Golden Gloves crowd.
No, well, exactly, yeah.
They'll show up in the
Exactly,
snow,
that
rain.
is absolutely true. So we usually, you know, state of emergency, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But we also look to the Bruins. If the Bruins are playing, we're doing our show
Oh,
too.
is that- that's
So
a
because
good one.
they go no matter what.
That's good. So I'll see if the Bruins are
Yeah,
playing.
that's one of our benchmarks.
You know.
What are the Bruins doing?
Yeah.
They don't quit
You
praying.
have some groups coming in.
We do.
The Temptations are coming in. Cheap Trick. I like Cheap Trick. You have the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer musical. I almost blew that one. So that's for the kids, right? Basically, yeah. So you have a website for the children too, or teenagers, or
So no, that's just all right on the same,
on the same?
pages that
All
we
right.
normally have.
Kansas, nice group, great group. I mean, Carry On, Wayward Sons, is a famous Dust in the Wind. I thought they were the tightest group that I have ever heard in music in regards to Kansas. I mean, I'm a big Kansas fan, and I know a lot of people didn't follow Kansas. They weren't in the upper tier of groups. They were sort of in the lower tier of groups that toured. Never saw them live though, but you know, I have this. Boston Pops. What's that?
I said, now you got your chance.
There you go.
Come on
I
down.
know. I didn't even know they were touring when I saw that. Boston Pops, always a great take.
Yep.
Take the children to that.
Yep.
That's an important take to see the Boston Pops locally. It's very important that your children see the Boston Pops, and you can see them. They do a great Christmas show.
Yep, we always have Keith Lockhart conducting, so it's great.
Yeah,
to have him.
and I think it's on the 12th, 19th of December.
Correct, yep.
Yeah, put that on your calendar. I mean, that's it. Queen is coming, one night of Queen. I don't think it's Queen, but
Yeah, it's an amazing, it's as close as you'll ever get. Gary Mullen is the Freddie Mercury of that group, and he has been world famous for, you see him on stage, it's amazing how close to Queen it is. So.
Yeah, I think I would probably want to see that because I did see Queen at Live Aid in London when they played there, and it was very moving. I think I told you earlier. That would be great to see him there. And the Righteous Brothers are coming to.
Yep, the Righteous Brothers are coming, and so.
I didn't even know they were still around.
Yeah, they put on a great show.
Yeah.
And you know that's yet another one we're looking forward to. And then this weekend we have the Lowell Irish Festival, which will be happening on Saturday. So that kicks us off into the September schedule, along with a show tonight called Leonid and Friends. So we got a busy weekend this weekend, and keep on going.
Is there anything you want to say in regards to Cassidy? I have 3 minutes. I mean, your experiences at Lowell Auditorium. You haven't seen a group yet play there, have you?
Not at Lowell. I have seen some at a few of our other venues that we have, just because they've had shows up until now. But so far my experience has been really good. It's only been a few months, like I said earlier. Yeah. But it's good. I really enjoy being here. It's definitely an experience, that's for sure.
Now, do you videotape all the shows, or are you going to do part of the videotaping, or you just watch the show after you did all the work? Or a combination of both?
It's kind of a combination of both. Like I said earlier, you know, we have to just make sure we go down the right avenues in case of just legal things for videoing and picture-wise. So we won't be doing recording of the whole show, obviously. But while I'm there working the show, doing whatever else I'm doing that night, I'll make sure to definitely grab pictures and videos of the band or the artist performing, as well as audience, because audience captures a lot,
that's a good
especially
point.
with their faces.
Yeah.
It can really show, and like everyone says, picture's worth 1,000 words, and it really
that's
will
true.
show you with the audience.
And that's good, because the audience will watch the video at home or something like that and say, I was right there.
Yeah,
you know? So
exactly.
That's a good point. I like that. I have Peter Lally, General Manager of the Lowell Auditorium in Lowell, Massachusetts. In case you just tuned in, and Cassidy Blouin, Marketing Coordinator. And I want to thank you for coming on the show and talking about the shows. And you're going to have more shows online. I mean, you're going to put them online, and you could buy tickets online. You could go to the auditorium and buy tickets.
The best way to keep up with what's going on is to do any number of things. Signing up for our email list, which you can do at lowellauditorium.com.
Oh, good point.
You can follow our Facebook page, Instagram, our Twitter, however you best get your updates.
That's Cassidy.
Cassidy will find you,
Yeah.
right? That's her job.
Yep.
So let us know how to reach you, and we'd love to keep everybody up to date on what's coming up, because you're right, we got more to come.
Did they overwork you?
No, definitely not.
You know, I just want to make sure they're not overworking you. I have to talk to the higher ups, but you know, I appreciate both of you coming down. Is there anything you want to say last minute, 10 seconds?
No, just that we're excited to get going, that we're